Call the January 25th, 2018 meeting to order. First order of business is minutes from the January 8th meetings. Anybody have any corrections or additions to that? No. Stand is written. Next item is citizen comments. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. There's one recommendation for appointment, and that's Mary Gauger to the CVB Advisory Committee. So that'll come back in 2 weeks. Next item is a resolution of support for the Epworth Towers Tax Credit Project.
Toby Doherty, City Manager. The City Commission has been presented with a request for a resolution of support for a tax credit application. Epworth Towers is undergoing a $6 million renovation, financed in part with federal tax credits. As part of that tax credit application, they are required to have a resolution of support from the local governing body. So that resolution has been presented to you as 2018-2, and I would stand for any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve Resolution 2018-002, support of rehabilitation of affordable senior housing located at 2800 Augusta Lane, the city of Hays, Kansas.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Schwaller, seconded.
Musil.
Oh, sorry. Second by Commissioner Musil. Any discussion?
One thing I will say is I think it's very important to the community of Hayes to have something like this. It's affordable senior housing, and for them to be able to hopefully get this money to just update their facilities. I think it's good for our community.
Okay, seeing no other conversation, call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next item is Allen Street reconstruction award of bid.
Good evening, Commissioners. John Brown, City Hays Project Manager. And the Allen Street from 8th to 24th and Vine is in dire need of replacement. And it's been on the capital improvement program for several years. Allen Street is functionally classified as a major collector. It has between 2,000 and 4,000 vehicles per day throughout the 5,100 lineal feet extent of the proposed project. It's a 2-lane road with parking along the west side and no parking along the east side. Existing pavement varies from brick at the south end, asphalt through the center section, and concrete at the north end. The cross-section width and the sidewalk configuration varies as well from one end of the project to the other. In 2018, $4 million is identified to be funded out of Commission Capital Reserve and $500,000 out of Water Capital to fund this project. In May of 2017, the City Commission approved an engineering service agreement with Kirkham Michael Engineers out of Ellsworth to include new pavement, curb and gutter throughout the project, replace much of the sidewalk, and correct any ADA issues. The project also includes the upgrade and replacement of the water main and water services all north of 10th Street. Based on direction from the City Commission, the project was bid with an option to replace the existing brick pavement between 8th and 12th Street with new concrete brick pavers similar to those that are on 8th Street between Oak and Fort. Bids were opened on December 19th from 6 bidders listed here. We were very pleased to receive so many bids and note that they are all fairly close in price, which is an indication of a good set of bid documents and subsequently a good set of bidders. The low bid is from Paul Wurtenberger Construction of Hays, with a low bid for the base option of just under $2.4 million. The low bid for the brick option was also from Paul Wurtenberger Construction at just under $2.5 million. The contract documents were written to require construction to be substantially complete by November 16th, with liquidated damages in the amount of $1,500 per day. Paul Wurtenberger Construction gave a tentative start date of March the 5th. A public information meeting is being planned for February the 12th here in the City Commission chambers. Based on the as-bid cost of various bid items, a proportionate share of the project cost was calculated to be funded out of stormwater capital and water capital at $18,211.90 and $531,836 respectively. Depending on whether the commission chooses the brick option or not, the amount from the commission capital reserve would be $1,926,580 or $2,028,266. The City Commission will need to decide whether they want to award the alternate for brick pavement between 8th and 12th Street or not. In staff's opinion, the primary benefit to constructing this section with brick pavers is aesthetic in nature due to the fact that this stretch is currently brick along with the adjacent brick pavement on 9th and 11th and 12th Streets. The primary drawback to awarding the brick street alternate is the additional $100,000 cost that could be used to construct street improvements elsewhere. Other drawbacks include the added inconvenience during construction due to the brick option taking more time to construct, the added cost and effort to make street cuts and repairs in the future, the need to maintain an inventory of these bricks for future repair as they would be different than the old old bricks that we have right now. And the ride on the new brick section may not be as smooth as the ride on the new concrete streets. Also, as illustrated previously, this area is not within the historic brick area. Commission has the options of accepting the base bid from Paul Wertberger Construction or the alternate bid for brick, or you could direct staff otherwise, or you could reject all bids.
Mr. Chairman, I authorize, it's been a while since I've done this. Make a motion that we authorize the city manager to execute a contract with Paul Wertberger Construction for the base bid in the amount of $2,386,808.42 to be funded out of the capital projects fund. Plus, authorize the following transfers to the capital project fund: $1,926,580.02 from Commission Capital Reserve, $18,211.90 from Stormwater Capital, and $531,836 from Capital Reserve, Water Capital Reserve.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Musel, seconded by Commissioner Schwaller. Any discussion?
Long overdue. The street has significant traffic. It's going to be a great benefit to the neighborhood and also the community that uses that as a shortcut. Also, it's wonderful that we can pay cash and not have to borrow money to do a project of this magnitude.
You know, one thing I noticed, like going through the packet, I recognize all of them, and all the subcontractors are all local subcontractors except for one, is that correct?
Not sure if you have
If
that.
I can find that, I do.
I can tell you, but
Go ahead. if you-
I know that they were intending to subcontract out water line work to J-Corp
Right.
locally, and there's been talk of some other subcontractors. Obviously, traffic control a lot of times is an out-of-town contractor, and that may be what you're.
Maybe that's
referring
one,
to.
that could be. so. And the bid overall came in about $1 million under budget, correct?
Actually, close to $2 million.
$2 million, okay.
Under budget. The total project cost
That's great.
from what was budgeted.
I'll just make a comment on why I will be voting no on the motion tonight. I spend a lot of time considering this, and at the same time, I did a lot of reading on information that came from strong towns about streets and the aesthetics of neighborhoods and infill and how we redo things. That is a wonderful neighborhood down there. Most of the streets, all the streets that come up to Allen south of 13th Street are all brick. I would have liked to have seen that be the end spot. I certainly understand the motion and the $100,000 savings, but after seeing 13th Street and wishing it had been brick, I'll be voting no on the motion.
I disagree on the aesthetics of the area, partially because we would be replacing the bricks, not necessarily that bricks don't fit in that area. I drive that every day, and I've really thought about it this last week. How that would look, part of it is 12th to 8th, you're leaving a block off to 13th. You're going from concrete to concrete. Also, having new brick for this small portion of the road would look really patched together. I think if this was a discussion of brick all the way through or no brick at all, that would be one thing. But having this little section that's kind of off in a residential area on a area that's not really part of the downtown district, I don't think the aesthetics make sense and would actually look odd.
Yeah, for me, I don't know that I really necessarily have strong feelings about the brick, but I think what's more important is we're paying cash for a project that it's come in $2 million under what our estimates would have been. I think that it's another example of why we should continue to have discussions about doing more of these projects now versus later. Because the bidding environment is very good, just as it was last year, as we discovered when we did 8th Street. So to me, those are the things that I hope are the highlights that come out of this, is paying cash, the great price tag on it, and hopefully this will spur more of these types of projects in the very near future for us, because I think it's a very good competitive bidding environment for us.
Absolutely.
With that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Passes 4-1. Next item is a rezoning of a portion of Otley Edition.
Good evening, Jesse Rohr, Director of Public Works. This first item for me tonight is to request the rezoning of a portion of the Otley addition from agricultural to C2 General Commercial District. Just so everyone's familiar with the area is north of I-70, west of Vine, just behind the Walmart building. It's kind of a closer view of the property. Obviously, we're talking about the property outlined in red here. This one again shows the outline of the red area, outlined in red, that will be rezoned. It's overlaid over the preliminary plat that was approved by the Planning Commission back in November, of which a portion of will be the final plat item that we'll have at the next agenda item after this. This map shows property again in the yellow circle in the green area, with currently zoned agriculture. You can see how the surrounding areas to the north, the west, and the east are in the red and orange colors, are all currently zoned C2. So this will be contiguous with all C2 zoning on all sides. This is an image you can see from our future land use development map in the comprehensive plan. The area outlined in blue again is the rezoning area. The comprehensive plan did show the area as high-density residential and some commercial and some urban reserve. However, since that time, the majority of the property, again, has been rezoned to C2 general commercial. The property currently is being used for the production of ag and has been for many years. And I already mentioned how the comprehensive plan does identify the area as mixed use and some high-density residential. The public hearing was held on December 18th, 2017, and the Planning Commission voted 6-0 to favorably recommend the zoning request as submitted.